Historically, The Rock has always been known for being a broad fucking huge guy, one of the most jacked actors in Hollywood. However, he doesn't seem to be able to dial in the six-pack. Like, why is that? Why are there guys who are pinner as on Riverdale who have better looking six-packs than him, despite the fact that he has 100 pounds more muscle than them? Well, what's up, guys? Derek, moreplates.com. Today we're going to be talking about Black Adam and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. So as you may or may not know, he has been peaking his physique for a role called Black Adam. And we've done I might have done one video on his preparation. And indeed, the guy is pushing the limits on his physique once again. You see him in this picture. A couple of weeks ago at this point, late night training, big week for Black Adam, shooting my champion scenes with my shirt off and have to show my body. Been working extremely hard, dieting, training, and conditioning unlike any other role of my entire career. So it's like this guy is almost 50 and he is still pushing the boundaries in terms of his genetic limits. This guy is like obviously enhanced. I don't think we need to tell you that. If you're new to the channel, maybe this is the first time hearing it, but the guy, he didn't just use pro hormones when he was a teenager or gear or whatever he said he did sporadically one time and then never touched him again. In fact, it's pretty, you're not going to be able to make this progress in your 40s to achieve a physique that is far superior to that in your 20s as a guy who is a veteran of the gym. It's not like the guy was half-assing his shit in the gym in his 20s and 30s, and now in his 40s he's just figured out the secret and is adhering to more strict schedule. The guy has more work on his plate than ever, and yet gets way better results in the gym. Coincidence? Obviously fucking not. Manipulating water, sodium, cardio, but also having to push and pull real iron to have dense, dry, detailed muscle. It's a real science that takes months and months to dial it all in with my with my strength and conditioning coach, Dave Rienzi, who keeps a very watchful eye, constantly fine-tuning our strategy daily. So as far as a real science, in reality, it's just how much willpower do you have to restrict yourself while taking enough gear to support the offsetting of muscle catabolism while you're still lifting in the gym, trying to retain all your strength and having built up the foundation to, cut off of to have a better physique than the last time, obviously. All whilst on gear. All whilst on gear. As many of you know, the intense and exciting comic mythology of Ted Adam, he becomes the immortal champion by the gods, blessed with the powers of Superman and dangerous magic from the wizards. Then his rage turns his soul dark, forever becoming Black Adam, lightning symbol, I believe. Big week, grateful for the grind and support. Here we go. Late nights, do not go gentle. Black Adam, lightning bolt. So 405,000 likes, 13,000 comments, 4,500 shares. Fucking nutty, dude. Made, not born. Iron Paradise. Guy looking mean. So this is probably one of the leanest I've ever seen him, at least objectively, based on the detail in the quads. I don't know, there's a leanness in the face too. Like the guy has not really taken on this athletic of a look as well as, like jacked and fucking shredded at the same time. Like typically I'm used to seeing him either like hyperinflated with a bit more body fat, probably walking around like 14-15%, or he's natty version him, like way back in the day, or he's just kind of like off season mode where he's maintaining again like 14-15% ish year round, and he's just kind of like he's big, but he's not like he is in like Fast and the Furious or some shit. And yet here he is like seemingly improving on his physique still, achieving a more streamlined, lean but still fucking massive look to play this role, which obviously is a role that, again, one of the comics that you're going to have to live up to some very, very significant hype, and I imagine he's going to be one of the only actors who can actually live up to the hype, reflecting what is somewhat representative of what you actually see in the comics. Guys like Chris Hemsworth, guys like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, these guys can actually represent the roles well, rather than guys like, unfortunately, Ben Affleck with Batman, kind of falling short. A lot of actors are not able to reflect anything close to what you see in the comics. And that's even when they use gear, which is fucking, just shows how unrealistic the standards are for men now, that actors who have literal fucking master trainers with them, have all of the nutrition literally cooked for them, handed to them on a silver platter, are getting paid millions of dollars to train and take fucking gear, and they still can't look like the guys in the comics. Just goes to show what we can achieve as a male, as the male gender. It's not exactly the easiest thing to live up to these things that we built up in our minds as kids that we aspire to look like. It's just unhealthy as fuck, unfortunately. So anyways, as far as The Rock, the whole point of the video was going to be this guy's one of the leanest I've ever seen him, while being, very, very fucking muscular still. But still does not seem to have a visible shredded six-pack. You can see him here talking about his Zoa energy product. And if you want me to review this drink, let me know. You can actually see the abdominal separation here, but historically, The Rock has always been known for being a broad fucking huge guy, one of the most jacked actors in Hollywood. However, he doesn't seem to be able to dial in the six-pack. Like, why is that? Why are there guys who are pinner as fuck on Riverdale who have better looking six-packs than him, despite the fact that he has 100 pounds more muscle than them? Well, it does indeed come down to genetics. The guy's a genetic marvel in his own right, but when you look at him shirtless, again, this is him on Baywatch, literally peaking for Baywatch to be the head honcho, hoss-ass lifeguard, and yet you can see some separation of abdominals, but nothing crazy. Here he is in Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's 18 sexy shirtless photos by Essence. And you can see in some angles, like, the abdominal separation is he's certainly lean enough to have visible abdominal separation. However, there's just no development necessarily. Now, is there anything he can do about this? Is he just not training his abs hard enough? Like, no, at the end of the day, this comes down to genetics. It's just like a guy who has like a shitty bicep peak. What can he do? He can make a bigger version of the shitty bicep peak, but ultimately it will always be a shitty bicep peak. That is what he's been dealing with, and he's proved it because he has essentially peaked his physique. Like, there's no way he's gonna get much better than this at this point. He's 49. He's fucking huge. He's more jacked than every other actor in Hollywood, and yet he still has a worse six-pack development than pretty much every single other actor, even guys who have 100 pounds less lean mass than him. This is not a knock on him necessarily. It's just a reality that you have to be happy with the cards you're dealt and make the most of what you can. And in fact, that is what he has done, and that's why he still is thought to have, one of the best physiques in the industry, because he does what he can with it. And like, his genetics are good. Don't get me wrong. It's just a lot of people will see this and mistakenly say, like, oh, he just like doesn't know how to suffer. He doesn't know how to get lean. Like, does this not look fucking lean, guys? Like, this looks like he's killing it, dude. And he's peaking in this photo right here to show what is representative of like absolute most dialed in physique you can possibly represent. And that's what you can get. Guys like Kumail Nanjiani have a more developed six-pack at literally like 150 pounds less, probably. Maybe not 150 pounds. I don't know, like 100 pounds less. Guys like Zac Efron, better, abdominal insertions, despite being, a rail in comparison. This is just the genetics you're dealt with, Here he is as a younger guy, and obviously, much smaller and less, definition, but also much smaller overall in musculature because, of course, he just didn't know how to train back then. Now he just has everything dialed in with his nutritionist and blah, blah, blah. So that's why he's way bigger now and literally 50 pounds heavier, but, it's all the, the diet and the training and blah, blah, blah. So, but again, he's always sort of like, of course, he's been much smaller, but he has never really dialed in the six-pack to a point that is representative of like a fitness model or something, despite the fact that he has like, guys would say like bodybuilder size body parts, like how is everything so developed except for that one thing? Genetics. That's what you got to deal with. He's making the most of it. He's obviously seems like one of the most positive and upbeat humans you could possibly imagine. It's very hard to not like this guy. He's very motivational. He's very inspiring. He gets a lot of guys to get off their ass and get to the gym. He's very fucking entertaining. He makes amazing movies. Obviously some people debate whether that is true or not. He has like good fucking, he has very good movies too. And he has an insane physique. Not everyone's gonna have every body part dialed in, and that's just, how it is. But other than that, I think like overall, the sheer mass this guy is holding, the streamlined, athletic look with size. I think this is a superhero physique. Just because you're missing one body part doesn't mean, that the guy is missing the mark. I think he has definitely dialed it in. And if anything, like him, Chris Hemsworth, I think are leading the charge for what it looks like to really dial in for a superhero role. And it's not necessarily a knock on the other actors. Frankly, it's just the genetics you need to represent these roles well is so rare. And again, like, insane genetics. Guy has amazing genetics, but even the most genetically elite will still be lacking in one thing or the other, whether it's, lack of abs, whether it's, hair loss, whether it's fucking acne, whether it's gynecomastia, whether it's, whatever it is. Everyone has their shortcomings, and for The Rock, it has not sidelined him whatsoever, and he's still fucking killing it. So should be interesting to see how this movie goes, but I'm surprised people still comment that kind of stuff, because like, he's obviously, there are times where he is like soft-ish, and he does not look as dialed in, but like, when you're looking like this dude, like this is as good as it gets, So if anyone's saying like, where are the abs? Like, you didn't like put in the effort. It's like, bro, this guy fucking put in the work. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you looking forward to the movie? Any and all comments help the algorithm. They're much appreciated. Like, subscribe, check out my blog, moreplaysmoredates.com. Follow me on Instagram at moreplaysmoredates, Facebook, Snapchat, BitChute, Twitter, TikTok, Apple Podcasts. If you want to support the channel, you can check out anything I'm associated with in the video description below. My TRT clinic, it's all telemedicine from the comfort of your own home. Gorilla Mind, nootropic formulas, Gorilla Mode pre-workout formulas. I designed myself from scratch. My recommended lab tests and diagnostics to stay on top of your health. Recommended diet model for newbies and intermediates who want to know how to hit their micronutrient intake, not just their macronutrients, as well as being mindful of overall sports performance, gut health, sleep hygiene practices, not just a cookie cutter, Instagram influencer diet that is, made for you by a cut and paste shit. This is something that's actually geared towards maintaining athleticism, sports performance, rather than just, hypertrophy, fat loss, kind of a broad spectrum hybrid approach to health as well as performance. So anyways, if that's of interest to you, check it out. It's all in the video description below, as well as anything else I'm associated with that helps support the channel. Thank you guys for watching. Talk to you soon.